Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. I am Smriti and today I will talk about what is Git, what is GitHub, what are the benefits of using Git and GitHub, and how we can use Git and GitHub in our project. So let's get going. Alright, but first let's understand what is Git. Git is a version control system. In short, we can call it VCS. Its job is to revise the code in our project. There are a lot of VS Code. They are SVN, Mercurial, GitLab, CVS, and more. Now, let's understand the benefits of using Git or VCS. The biggest advantage of using Git is fast, and it can also be worked offline. And the another advantage of using it is you can revise your code. Let's say we did some work on the project today. If we want to go back to yesterday's work after doing some work tomorrow, but we cannot go back to previous work if there's no manual backup. So by using Git or VS Code, we can go back to the code any day and we can revise what did we on which days. Or you may have mistakenly deleted a file or folder. Now you may think that the folder or file was very helpful. It would be great if you could get back to the deleted file or folder. You will not be able to return the file or folder, but if you use Git or VCS in your project, then you can easily return any deleted file or folder. Even you can remove the old code in the project you are working on or add new code to that project. Another advantage of using it is multiple developers can work in a team environment. Suppose many developers are working on a file in a project, and after working, adding this file to the main project is a lot of trouble. But we can do that very easily using Git or VCS. This means managing source code becomes much easier. Let me say one thing here. Git is a just tool. Using it, we can host our project remotely by typing some commands so that anyone in the world can access it, clone it, and download it. The purpose of hosting the project remotely is to allow anyone to contribute to the open source project. But if we want to use the project for ourselves without open source project, then we will be able to host the project privately. That's one more advantage of using Git. Now, the question is, where will we host our project? We must have a hosting service to host. That hosting service is GitHub. So, GitHub is a hosting service where we will put our project remotely. Now we know what is Git, what is GitHub, and the benefits of using them. Why should we use Git and GitHub in our project, and the benefits of using them. Now we will see how to use Git and GitHub in our project. To use Git, we must have it installed on our operating system. According to requirements of the Flutter SDK, when we install Flutter on our system, that's when we installed Git on our system. If you don't know how to install Git, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to install Git on our operating system. So first of all, we need to download Git. To download Git, we have to search Git download. Now we have to click on first link, downloads Git, and here we have to select our operating system. Next, click on start download to download. I'm not downloading it because I have it downloaded. So I'm gonna close this window. Once the file is downloaded, we will go directly to File Explorer to install the Git. From here, downloads and then programs. Here we will see our downloaded Git file. To install the Git file, we need to double click on it. Now from this window we will click on next, and then next. By default everything is selected, so here we just have to click on next to install. And now by clicking install button, this file will be installed. Now to use GitHub we must create an account on GitHub, and we have to sign in to the account. So now we'll go to VS Code and write some codes to host our project on GitHub. To write commands, we need to open the terminal. So to open terminal in VS Code, we can see at the top of the toolbar terminal option, and here have new terminal option. We can open the terminal from here, or we can open the terminal by pressing Ctrl Shift backtick character. I'm gonna open the terminal from here. After the terminal opens, the first command I will write, which is git init. The job of this command is to open or initialize an empty repository. Here, repository means a folder. We can also call it repo. So, a local repo will be created in our system. So, if I enter this command, we can see initialized an empty repository. In this repo, we will be able to add our codes and commit them. Even we can push it remotely. To add codes in the repo, we need to write git add dot command. This command will add all the codes of the project on the repo. This is locally, but we will push it remotely later. And then after adding codes, I'm gonna commit them on the repo. To see clearly, I'm gonna maximize this window. To commit, we need to write git commit -m. Now we have to give a description of this commit. The description may be first commit, since it is first commit, or can be initial commit, or can be any description. One thing we need to keep in mind here is that when writing a description, double quotation marks on both sides. Now if we enter this command, we can see the remainder author identify unknown. That means author not logged in with email and password. Here are two sample commands to logged in. I'm gonna just copy first one and will paste here, and then I will put my email here. I have entered with my email. Now I will just copy second command. Here we have to put our username. But where can we get username? If we go to our GitHub accounts, here's an option. By clicking this option, we can see our username. So get back to VS Code and I'm gonna put my username and then enter. So this way we can log into our GitHub account. Since our commit wasn't successful, now I will re-enter the commit command to commit again. Now we can see there are a lot of create mode files and folders. Git, readme, metadata file, analysis file, and also we can see Android folder, iOS folder, lib folder, pubspec, YAML, log, test files. All the files and folders have been committed. Now we need to create a remote repository where we will host our local repository. To do that, we need to go to the browser on our GitHub account. Here's an option to create a new repository. Here we can see owner name, and after that repository name, here we have to set a name. Let's say hello world. As soon as the name is given, GitHub is checking if there's any duplicate name of this name. Since I have no hello world repository, so that it says hello world is available. Below that we can see description. Here we can put a description of this repo. I'm not giving it as it is optional. Then we can see two options here. First one is public and second one is private. We can keep this project public or private. Since I'm using the repo for a learning purpose, I'm gonna keep it public. Now scroll down a little bit. Here you can see readme file, git file, choose a license file. We can add these files to our repo, but since we have these files in our project, I'm not adding these anymore. Then we will click directly on the create repository. After the repo was created, here you can see some commands. We will push our repo remotely by using these commands. First we can see init, add, commit. We have done with these commands. Now we have to select the branch where we will add our remote repo. Now we will copy the command to select the branch. Let's back to VS Code and I'm gonna paste this command. After enter this command, we can see at first it was master branch, but now it has become main branch. That's mean now we are in the main branch. If we want to go back to the master branch, we will use the same command, but here we'll just change the branch name main to master. Now we are in the master branch. I want to select main branch, so I'm gonna re-enter this command. So we are in the main branch. Now we will copy the next command to add remote repo on the main branch and enter this command. Now that the remote repo has been added to the main branch. Now at the main branch we will push our codes to the remote repo. So I'm going to copy the command to push. So the command is git push -u origin main. I'm going to enter this command. Here you can see we got a info. Please complete authentication in your browser. Now we have to complete a authentication. For a while we can see the extension GitHub wants to sign in. We will just allow this to authenticate. After allow this, we can see at the bottom sign in to github.com. After waiting for a while, we can see at the top username. Here we have to give our username. I'm gonna give my username and then enter. Now we have to give our password. So I'm gonna give my password and then enter. Oh, authentication failed. Unfortunately, our authentication has not been successful. And here it is said that support for password authentication was removed on August 13, 2021. We need to use the personal access token to authenticate. After trying many times, I got a solution. So first we have to go to our browser. Here I'm gonna duplicate this tab. Here go to the account option and then settings. After came to the window, scroll down little bit. From here, developer settings. Here click on personal access token. Now we can see generate new token. Let's go ahead and click on this button. Now we need to write in this note why do we want to use this token. Let's say auth from local machine. After that have expression. Here we have to set a expire date. Here I'm gonna select 90 days. Scroll down a little bit. From here we have to select repo, write packages, delete packages, and even you can select all features. Then go to at the bottom to generate token. Our token has been generated. Now I'm gonna copy the token and get back to VS Code. We have to re-enter this command. For a while we see a window to GitHub sign in. Here we will go through the token and here just paste the copied token. After that click on sign in button. So finally we are able to push the codes to the repo of our main branch. Now we will check whether the codes have been added to the repo or not. For checking, let's go to browser. Now I'm gonna close this tab and I'm gonna reload the site. After reloading the site, we can see Hello World repository and in that all the codes added. So this way we can host our project remotely by typing few commands. Let's take a look at the commands again. First command is git init. Second command is git add dot. Third command is git commit -m description. Fourth command is git branch -m branch name. Fifth command is git remote at origin repo URL. Sixth command is git push -u origin branch name. Now I want to show you some more commands. So first command I will write, which is git status. By writing this command we can see what has changed in our project. So if I enter this command we can see we are on the main branch and our branch is up to date, nothing to commit. Here I want to write some codes in the main file. For that I'm going to minimize this window. For example, I'm going to write a comment and save this file. Now I'm going to again enter this command. Now we can see a modified file and file name main.dart. Now I want to add the modified file to the remote repository. To add this modified file, we need to type three commands. They are git add dot, git commit -m description, and git push -u origin main. So by writing these three commands, we can add our modified files to a remote repo. So I'm gonna write first command, which is git add dot. After that I'm gonna write second command, which is git commit -m and description. Update it. And then now I'm gonna write last command, which is git push -u main. Oops, I forgot to add origin. The command would be git push -u origin main. So now the modified file have been successfully added to the repo. To check, let's back to the browser and reload the site. Here we can see that modified file has been added and updated commit, and the modified file has been updated 1 minute ago. This way we can add modified file. Now let's back to VS Code and now I will again run git status. Now we can see our branch is up to date. We have seen how to host a local repo remotely, and now we will see how to bring a remote repository locally. So first of all, we have to close this folder. To close this folder, click on Files and then Close Folder. So the folder has been closed. Now we just need to click on Clone Git repository. Here we have to provide a repository URL. So to get URL, let's go to browser and click on that. Now we will just copy the URL by clicking this icon, and let's back to VS Code. Here I'm gonna paste this URL. Now we can see clone from URL. We will just click on it. Now we have to select a directory where our repo will be cloned. Now I'm gonna select desktop, select repository location. Now the repo been cloning on our local system. Now it says, would you like to open the cloned repo this window or new window? I'm gonna open in this window. Now we can see all the file and folders have been cloned. So I'm gonna open main.dart file. At the bottom we can see some packages are missing or out of date. Would you like to get them now? We can update packages by clicking Get Packages. After loading the file, we can see there are a lot of errors. To fix this, we have to update packages. To do so, I'm gonna click on Get Packages. Now packages been updated, we have to wait until it being complete. Now we can see exit code 0. That's mean all packages uploaded and all the errors gone. One more way we can take the repo locally, that is by downloading zip file. Hopefully after watching the video you now know how to host Flutter project remotely and take the repo locally. Feel free to leave me a comment if there's a specific topic related to this that you would like to address in the future, and please subscribe my channel and give me this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. Thank you so much for watching and goodbye.